As people, we enjoy to believe that our views are the correct views, that our opinions in the world are the proper opinions. But that's just not correct. We choose who we interact with through people through music, culture, clothing styles, or origin. So we create these social bubbles that we perceive as safe. But what does this perceived safety actually cost us? It can cost us quite a lot. It can make us unable to see other people's perspectives, and it can limit our own perspectives on the world. We do not just choose who we interact with through through what they like or where they're from, like as I mentioned earlier, but also through stereotypes, whether that be cultural stereotypes or individual stereotypes. I myself have encountered this as a member of the LGBTQ community. In school, people have made fun of my gay style of dressing or my haircuts, and this has caused people to maybe avoid interacting with me because they didn't want to be known or affiliated with someone who was out of the norm. Now that I'm here at the DISV, I have opened up my own worldview because I am surrounded by many different cultures. Another thing I would like to bring attention to is an old classmate of mine. Let's call her Isha. She was a wonderful, amazing, intelligent person, but she came from a very strict religious background. This caused her to have very narrow views on the world. A few things I can just recall her saying off the top of my head is that no one can know they're asexual or aromantic until they're an adult, and no one has sex at 16. Teen moms, do you hear that? Anyways, at the time, I just thought she was stubborn. I just thought that this was how she grew up and it wasn't a big deal. But I have recently realized that that's not the case. She had never ignited connections with people who were different than her. She had never been able to do that because most of her interactions was with her family or people from her church. This actually accidentally isolated herself because she was unable to view other people's perspectives in a conversation and unable to interact or relate to people. So I know what you all are asking is, why is this really important? Why does it matter that we interact with people who are outside of our social bubbles? It will make us a more empathetic person, a more intelligent person, and a person who can communicate with others better. In a conversation, have you ever felt like you couldn't really relate to another person or their opinion? And that's because you have never interacted with them. But if you interact with multiple different types of people, you'll be able to be flexible and understand multiple sides. So we categorize people through three main things. That is through thinking differently, operating differently, and living differently. People who think differently could be people who are neurodivergent and physically process the world in a different way, or people who are physically disabled and have learned to traverse the world in a very different way than you. People who operate differently could be people who have different working styles than you. So you thrive on organization while they thrive on disorganization. And lastly, people who live differently than you. This can have a very large variety. It could be someone who has a larger or lower family income than you, or someone who lives in a different part of town or a completely different area. Lastly, it can also be by social norms, whether that be cultural or social norms, and it can also be their values, whether that be religious, political, or personal values. So why is this helpful? As I mentioned before, this is in the wrong spot. But when we interact and ignite with other people, we really open ourselves up. We make ourselves a more approachable person, a more intelligent person. And just adding one or two more in-depth connections with people from different places will make you a person who can understand others better. So a big thing that I know you probably are all asking is, well, how do I do this? How do I really talk to people? How do I meet with people? I myself struggle with this. I will very often find myself in a new environment with my arms crossed on my phone or wearing my very large headphones. Would you approach me if I was looking like this, leaned against a wall? Well, I wouldn't approach me because I look like someone who wants to be left alone. So I have had to teach myself to take my headphones off, put down my phone, and uncross my arms. If you're sitting, really uncross your legs. Put your shoulders back. Open your physical body language. I can see a lot of you doing it now. It's an immediate response. You want to be approachable, but you're not really taught in society how to be approachable. The main thing you hear people say is, smile. You'll be approachable, but that's not always true. Smiles can be creepy. So that's basically my final regard. But when you do actually get to speaking with this new person, instead of doing the chit-chat that we all do, oh, how's the weather doing outside? Skip it, it's unhelpful and it's boring. Ask open-ended, meaningful questions that can really open your perspective on their life. What have they gone through? Or tell stories. Where did you grow up? What was a funny story as a child? You know, I love ziplining. I can talk hours about ziplining. I got stuck in Hawaii on a zip line. That is something awesome, but was terrifying. Now, final thing is if you're intrigued by anything that I've said here today, try it yourself. Talk with someone who has a different perspective on you on a topic you both are passionate about and see where it gets you. And thank you so much for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed my talk.